The score in isolation for Chennai, 114 for 9, might appear to be complete disaster. But if you look at it in context of where they were at one stage, 6 down for 30, fabulous innings from Curran, really rescuing them, batting the 20 overs out, not getting bowled out. And you'd have to say that's some credit to the men who've been taking a battering from time to time in this tournament. But really, they always say about all the Curran brothers, they would have made the late Kevin Curran very proud. He was a hard taskmaster when they were growing up in a farm just outside Harare, and it's paying off right now. The youngster born in Northampton, Samuel Matthew Curran, rescuing the Chennai Super Kings. I've got Harsha, Bhogle and Simon Doull. So different it looks from when we were chatting at the 10 over mark, Harsha.
It is, and just tells you hang in there. You never know what can happen. I mean, it's not that they've ridden out of the fire and they're now on safe grounds, but they've got something on the board. They're not 60-70 all out either, and it just shows that the young man with fire, he hung in there, played beautifully. So it's still not enough, but it's something.
And it's something, Dooley, he's been doing up and down the order. He's pretty much done everything. He was sent in during a run chase. He's opened the batting. And today he came in after the carnage had pretty much been inflicted by the opposition bowlers.
Yeah, it just backs up what we talked about earlier, isn't it? That they can actually build a team. I know Faf du Plessis just the one tonight, but they can build a team around the likes of Faf du Plessis, Ravi Jadeja, Sam Curran, Deepak Chahar, a couple of the other guys to come in, I guess Hazelwood, Santner, what we're talking about. Sam Curran's a really good player, and he's a very energetic player with ball, with bat in the field as well. And he's got so much talent, so they can build a team around that core of 5, 6, 7 guys that we've mentioned, and the same guys we mentioned at the start of the match tonight. So that's just where Chennai need to be looking at. But I was impressed with him again tonight. Spinning ball, quick bowlers. He's got a lot of metal about him, I think, is what you say about Sam Curran.
Certainly does, and but whatever you talk about the recovery, the story again has been about Mumbai's brilliance and what they inflicted early on. Once that damage was done in the first 3 overs, Bolt, Bumrah, Bolt, it was very difficult to recover from there. The recovery only came to the extent of 114 runs, but those 4 wickets, Harsha, it just breaks the spine.
No, I'm waiting to hear a swing bowler talk about another swing bowler, so I'll listen to. Really, what did you make of this? I mean, there's not a lot of swing, to be honest. Not a lot of swing. No. Just a wee little bit, but Bolt was excellent with it.
Yeah, he was brilliant, and we have a little group chat when you guys are all watching the cricket, and we're sort of talking amongst each other. And you mentioned it a little bit, in our chat. Siraj, Bolt. We have seen some swing in the last few games at different times, and they're genuine swing bowlers. Deepak Chahar, I expect him to get a little bit tonight, but it's 2 to 3 overs. Maybe 4 overs at the most. So you have to make the most of it. If you can get through that time when it is swinging a little bit, you'll still be okay. But Chennai just couldn't get through it tonight. It was the pace of Bumrah, the swing of Bolt, and just the cleverness. And you talked about Trent Bolt. We talked about him prior to the game tonight. The ability that he's got now to run that ball across the right-handers. He's got his little slower balls as well, and swinging it back into the right-handers. He's developed different deliveries, and he's had to develop them because he's playing so much white ball cricket. And that's where I see his career has really come along leaps and bounds. It's his development of his white ball variations, I think would be the areas you'd talk about Trent Bolt's improvement.
But Harsha,
you look at how the wickets fell, Gautam.
Yeah.
The first 4 to real quality fast bowling. Whether they were edges, whether they were Raidu getting out to a bounce, the first 4 to real quality fast bowling. But I didn't see the rebuilding after that. Jadeja trying to slog, got out. Even Deepak Chahar trying to slog, got out. It required actually someone like a Tahir to just stay with Curran. Stay with them. They could have got another 20, 25. Jadeja had stayed as well. So, and I think in doing so, they just pointed out a little thing. Once Bolt and Bumrah are gone and that new ball has lost its zip, there's not a lot of wicket taking there. I mean, I know Chahar is a good bowler, but you can see off Krunal, you can see off Kulta Nail.
Yeah, you certainly can. That 9th wicket partnership yielding 43. And you'd have to say we were all having a little chat. Hazelwood, Tahir, who comes in. But I think Tahir, it was not about his qualities with the bat. It was about his qualities in the mind, his feistiness that got him those runs. But Dooley, one more point on Trent Boult. We mentioned this at the start. You've given us the technical masterclass of what he did. But in his mind, not a very good game to follow up from. And you said he doesn't often have back-to-back bad games.
Yeah, and I know you would have listened to that chat with Shane Bond as well, where he doesn't lack confidence either, Trent Boult. And I love that about him as well. And he said to Shane Bond something along the lines that I'll be right for this one. I'm up for this game. And you just know that he will have worked out what he did wrong. He will have gone away. He'll have practiced it in the nets. He's supremely fit. And that's something, and not only fit body-wise, but fit mind-wise as well. And he keeps himself in great shape. And he hates bad performances. He absolutely despises bad performances. So if he has one, he will turn around and he will figure out why, and he will try and rectify that the very next game.
Yeah, quick look at the bowling again. I think we've talked about it. Worth just having a look from Mumbai's perspective. It's not just about this game. It's about just making sure what they have as for the back end of the tournament, for the playoffs. Little surprise, Harsha, to see Pollard slip in a quick over in there.
Yeah.
Took one of Kunal's overs.
He likes doing that. Pollard likes bowling, which is not a bad thing, actually, but slipped in there. Actually, I thought at that point, they might use one more of Bumrah, just try and get wickets, hasten the end, try and get them to 70, 80 all out. But down those figures, there's also another player who we don't talk a lot about. You know, we just did this little mashup on Cricbuzz about who's been the most underrated bowler, you know, who's flying under the radar a little bit. Actually, Rahul Chahar is flying under the radar a little bit. Once again, 2 for 22. He does his job quietly. You know, he just comes quietly, he bowls 4 on the trot, he takes his wickets, doesn't concede too many runs and goes away. So that's another factor too.
Yeah, and of all the wickets he's taken in this tournament, Dooley, he would have enjoyed the one of his first cousin, Deepak Chahar.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have. And look, he's still a young man, and we all know, and Harsha, we've seen prosper, I guess, leg spinners from about 25, 26, 27 years of age onwards. The one great thing about what you're seeing through this IPL, and whether it be Tewatia Gopal, Ravi Bishnoi, Murugan Ashwin, Chahar, there's a lot of those guys are under 25, and the best days of leg spin are yet to come. So that's what I love about a lot of this, a lot of what we're seeing from the young spinners and the leg spinners in particular, that they have all of the variations. I really like Rahul Chahar. He just looks like, he's got the cornrows going on now. He's just got a little bit about him, and I think he's a player to just keep an eye on, and he'll keep developing. And I think he's got a big future in the game.
I was just wondering.
There's another moment there as well. Yeah,
go ahead first.
There's another moment there as well. It was a situation was tailor-made for Dhoni to take it into the 18th over, but he went for it early on. He got a 6. That was actually a really good catch by Quinton de Kock. You talked about Rahul Chahar enjoying getting his cousin's wicket. He'll enjoy that one even more because he beat him in the shot. And it was a leg spinner's wicket. It beat him on the outside, got the edge, and it's a really good catch by Quinton de Kock with a bit of help from the webbing of the gloves, but everyone has it.
Yeah, what I was saying when Dooley was talking about the image of Rahul Chahar, I wonder if it's the franchise or the side of the family he comes from. The two of them, the cousins, are so much in contrast. Deepak Chahar very much wearing that Chennai Super Kings image, more straight-laced, and Rahul Chahar, the flamboyant. I'm sure there's some tattoos in there, the hair.
Which one are you asking that question? Dooley or me?
Because I said hair, you were speechless, Harsha? All right.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Okay, let's get some of our fans in there. Ask Cricbuzz Live. We get so many of your questions in there, and some more relevant than others, and we thought we'd pick this one for today. It's a thought-provoking question. What, according to you, is more difficult? Getting to the top for players and teams, or staying at the top and meeting expectations repeatedly? Now, I think no matter how you interpret this question, it's relevant for both these franchises playing today.
Look, it's neither of those is easy. Yeah, neither of those
You-
easy.
you go, Harsh.
Getting the top sometimes might be easier because you don't have that much to lose. And so a Leicester City kind of phenomenon, a Sunrisers Hyderabad kind of phenomenon, where you don't have much to lose. You're trying hard, you make it up there. I think staying at the top is far more difficult.
Yeah, Doull,
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with that, to be honest. I mean, look, staying at the top is you've got to keep finding a way to stay at the top. You can't just rest on your laurels. And when you are at the top, everyone's chasing you. And when you look at the great franchises, the great teams, whether it be a Liverpool in the 60s, 70s, a Man United in the 90s, the 2000s, Lewis Hamilton currently with Formula One, whether it be those sorts of things, that they're always finding a new way to make sure they're staying at the top. So you've got to keep, as well as, I won't say rebuilding, you've just got to keep tinkering with your lineup and make sure that if there's a little piece missing, you find that extra piece to make sure you stay there. And it's not easy. And any one team can have a great year and be at the top for a short amount of time. But it's the franchises or the teams that remain at the top of their game for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. They are the real success stories.
I noticed that Doull didn't mention a team from just across the ditch. Australia were at their prime for a very long time. But Doull prefers to talk about Australian rugby rather than Australian cricket. So that's just to make him feel good. The All Blacks are still beating the Wallabies.
Exactly. I'm not sure he would have brought the rugby up
But
either.
interestingly, when you're on top, people expect you to win all the time. And so you're playing with that expectation. And if you lose, that's what makes news. So can you live with the expectation that winning is just okay, it's just another day for me. Whereas for someone else, winning is such a wow, big day. So you can almost live with that fact. And I think some teams play front runners well, the champions, they've got that swagger. I mean, you just look at the Haydens and the Pontings and the Warnes. They love being front runners, and they carry that swagger, that aura of being champions. You see that in the glory years with Barcelona, with Ferguson's United. You see that they enjoy being champions. So there's not that element of doubt in them saying, oh, what if? They enjoy being champions. If you want to stay on top, you must enjoy that swagger and be that champion.
Yeah, I think it's a discussion that has been happening a lot in this year's Premier League. Leicester City was a great example. Liverpool, a good example of how teams are expecting them to be on top. Lost 7-2 the other day, and people are wondering, is this the team that was just champions in a season that was separated by only a few days? But let's finish this discussion off on a cricketing note, and an individual who's been going upwards for the franchise but still waiting for India colours, Surya Kumar Yadav, will probably play a role in this run chase, Harsha. But is he ready, and when does the India call-up come?
I mean, he is in such a crowded environment at the top of the order. Surely he's an outstanding T20 player. He's in such a crowded environment up at the top. Shikhar's got runs again. KL Rahul scoring runs. Mayank Agarwal is scoring runs. Rohit is entrenched there. Kohli is at number 3. Iyer is at number 4. So I think he might go head to head with someone like an Iyer if he can bat at 4. Then there's Manish Pandey, who's generally just sent a little postcard. I'm around. I like batting at number 3. What a fabulous innings it was yesterday. So it's so difficult to break into that slot. And I just wonder if he wants to reinvent himself. I know he's a top order batsman here. Does he want to invent himself as a number 5, 6? I think there's a slot there in the national team for someone who's a very free-stroking number 5. I don't know if he wants to reinvent himself as that because it's very crowded at 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Doull, he used to actually do that for KKR. I mean, we remember him for KKR. We weren't quite sure where he was coming from, and he was this number 6 or 7 who used to play cute shots.
Yeah, finishes games off. I mean, he's got all the shots in the book, and he's a very clever cricketer, Surya Kumar Yadav, or Sky, as we call him nowadays. We're finding little shortened names for everybody. So he's a very smart cricketer. I think he's terrific in the field as well, so that adds to his batting side of things. But I think he could be a finisher. He could be at that 5, 6. If he's got to come in if India or his team were in trouble at 3 or 4 down for 80, 70, I think he's got the wherewithal to bat for a long period of time. And if he comes in with 4 or 5 overs to spare, I think he's got the power and the nous to score big at the back end as well. So if that's the only opportunity you're going to get, you find a way to make sure that happens. And what I was impressed with, not only his 2020 numbers, but those domestic 50 over numbers with his strike rate in excess of 110 over a long period of time. I mean, that's phenomenal. 117 at an average of 56 since 2018 with 1,000 runs. I mean, that is just sensational. And then everything else in 2020 cricket is above 130. They are seriously good numbers.
Yeah, they certainly are an integral part of Mumbai cricket, and then breaking into Kolkata, then coming back to the Mumbai franchise. But just to finish off, we need to repair our predictions for the My 11 Circle trump card. We tried to widen the window. We went in the wrong direction. So I guess we've got to make up for it with Mumbai in over number 6. Harsha, would you like to go first?
I want to see Chennai really come hard and make that 114 look bigger than it is. I really want to see Chennai come hard. I hope they don't just turn up and concede runs in the first 2-3 overs. So I'm going 38.
38.
Okay. Exactly. They will be exactly halfway after 6 overs.
That's 57, you think?
38, 57. I'll be in the 40s. 44. I'm going to go 44. 44 for them.
I left a sort of a gap as
wide as
you
did leave a gap.
A chasm is the word you were looking for, Doull.
The Khyber pass for you to pass through.
Thank you very much, and I went straight into it. But since you did mention Sky, do you have a short form for Quinton de Kock?
QDK.
QDK. That's hard to say in the whole name.
2 boundaries.
Yes, it certainly has. And it's Ishan Kishan at the other end. We were wondering who's going to be opening, but the answer is Ishan Kishan opening with him. Saurav Tiwari will slot in somewhere in the middle, and Sky probably will come in next. But lots to look forward to. We'll be back in the 10th over, perhaps to celebrate a victory for one of us in the My 11 Circle Badge of Honor, and wrap up the game on My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. See you soon.